गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Pancadasi, chapter 5, and last week we concluded the inquiry into Prajnanam Brahma. Therein we saw in the first verse the definition of Prajnanam was given, and in the second verse the definition of Brahma was given. And we saw how the Prajnanam itself is Brahma, the consciousness itself is the infinite absolute reality. And now the another Mahavakya is being taken for inquiry. What are Mahavakyas? They are the statements of truth which appear in the Upanishads, in the Vedas. And here is another one, and this time in the third verse they are taking Aham Brahmasmi. And here it is told in the third verse, Paripurna Paratmasmin Dehe Vidyadhikarini Buddhe Sakshitaya Sthitva Sfurannahamitiriyate. It says the Supreme Infinite Self, not limited by time, space and object, etc., staying in the human body, that is fit for self-realization as the witnessing consciousness, is called Aham in the Aham Brahmasmi Mahavakya. So how beautifully it is told. So what is this? Asmin, where is this? Asmin Dehe Paratma Paripurnaha. Asmin Dehe, in this body. Asmin means this body. Dehe means body. Paratma, or it is in this body, it is independent of the body. Paratma means that. Living in this body, expressing through this body, it is independent of this body. When they say body, it is gross body, subtle body and causal body put together. It is independent of the body. And what is the word they have used? Paripurnaha. Paripurna means it is complete in itself. So what do we understand with this? That the life principle, the conscious principle which is expressing through this body is essentially complete, is essentially not lacking in anything. But what do we feel? We feel the lack, we feel we need to associate, we feel we need to gather things to establish our identity through relatives, through objects, through memories, through concepts, isn't it? So here it is told that in this body the Paramatma is supremely complete and it is Paripurna. Paripurna means it is complete. And what does completeness denote? It denotes that there is no limitation of any sort possible on that which is all complete. Which is incomplete, their limitations are possible. That which is complete, limitations or conditionings are not possible. Now what are the different types of conditionings that are possible? One they are given, is time, space and objectivity. Time can be conditioning. How time can be conditioned? Past, present, future. A person who lives. We are all living persons. If we live as a slave of past, present and future, we are conditioned. But what are the Vedas saying? You are essentially complete. So we are sabotaging our own truth. Space, space meaning conditioning of space has brought about a body, and therefore we are living as this body. This body is occupying a particular space, isn't it? But what are we essentially? Independent of space, meaning I am everywhere. There is no place that I am not. So that again is not, this is how we are sabotaging ourselves. So understand, reclaim, recognize that in your presence, the past, present, future come and go. In your presence, the space, meaning the directions, space here, the east, west, north, south, top, bottom, all the various directions. That is how we come to know there is space. So all those directions are also because of you, not you are because of the of them. And the third is objects, that all these objects that are expressing here are presented here for our enjoyment, for our indulgence, for our utility. I should use that word, not indulgence, but for our utility. हरि ओम हरि ओम. फॉर आवर, ऊपर बैठ सकते हो नीचे बैठ सकते हो कहीं पे भी, अंकल इज नॉट. फॉर आवर यूटिलिटी, instead what has happened, we have become enslaved by these objects. And this way, this ever complete, absolutely satisfied Paramatma, who is expressing through this body, has, we are considering ourselves to be not that, because we are taking the conditioning of time, space and objectivity. So here different types of objective, what do you call, limitations are presented in front of us. I just explained to you the time, space and object. Then what are the other ones? See, what is the main thing that, what is the consequence of accepting limitations of time, space and object? What is the consequence of it? The consequence of it is we start taking everything as other than us. It is not included in ourselves. Then you are, if I take that to be the reality, then you are separate to me, then you are separate to me, then every object is separate to me, then the world is separate to me, the past, present, future is separate to me, and whatever is separate to us is other than us. There is a sense of difference. We have fear of that, isn't it? We are afraid of our past memories. We are afraid of what future holds for us, isn't it? We are afraid the body should not get diseased. We are afraid, if I eat this, will I survive or will I die? Then after having amassed a lot of objects, then we are afraid that these objects, because we have identified with them, and now we define ourselves on the basis of the objects. If one object is taken away, one object breaks, object is car has an accident, object is a house gets burned down, we feel we have lost the plot and we go into depression, isn't it? This is the consequence of getting identified with this. This is the consequence of accepting the conditioning of time, space and objectivity. So this is the first conditioning, first way. Second is the limitation of knower, known, knowing, the triputi. Knower, known, knowing, hearer, heard, hearing, seer, seen, seeing, knower, known, knowing, experiencer, experienced and experiencing. So as long as we live in this cycle of acceptance that because I think, What is the statement? Because I think, therefore I am. This is a wrong statement. What is the truth?
Because I am, I think.
I am, therefore thinking happens. I don't think. Thinking happens. But this ego says I am thinking because of the identification with it. So, what is the truth? I am, therefore thinking takes place. But how we are living? I think, therefore I am. And therefore, people are afraid of silence. Therefore, people are afraid of empty mind. Therefore, people are afraid of being alone. A person who has continuously surrounded himself with time, space, objects, experiences, memories, etc., etc. All that is included in these three. Such a person is unsettled if these are not there. Then I think, oh, I think I was hallucinating. I think I was in some gaga land. I think I was in some zone. I don't know. It was very scary. That scariness is why mind became silent. And you have not developed your understanding, you have not developed your acumen to recognize that mind becoming silent is a natural state. Because of your obsession with time, space, and objectivity and getting identified with it, you have never allowed the mind to be silent. Yet, by default, every night it goes into silence when you go to sleep. But that time you are not there, so you don't worry about it. But in the waking period, when it becomes silent, for some reason, I really enjoyed. When I went for my surgery, they gave me the morphine. And very quickly I went away. But before I went away, I was chanting my mantra. I said, I am going to chant mantra and go wherever I am going. I chanted the mantra. And then when I woke up, slowly, again the mantra was there and the tongue was heavy, the eyes were droopy, heavy eyelids, body, hand was not moving. And I said, why, I man. He says, it's okay, you are okay, man, you are fine, operation is done, now you are back in your bed. But oh, how long will it take? Oh, it was so wonderful. But same, this was morphine effect. That is why you can understand so many people are on drugs, because it takes them into it slows down their mind. You see, the euphoria, the kick that you get
But what children
when
take up drugs as well, Swamiji? But what worries do they have to take up drugs? I mean, they don't want to get out of
they are
the
not
mind.
product of this life. Anyone born in this life is not a product of this life. It's the product of the past impressions, isn't it? So each one comes with their own issues. Someone is having abusive parents, someone is having orphan from childhood, someone is in a brothel from childhood, another person is working hard from childhood, another person is intelligent from childhood. So you can't, how this variety has come? So that is different. You don't go into all that. Why they are like this. Don't look at, life should not be looked only in the waking state. Life should be looked in totality. And totality means waking, dream and deep sleep put together. And if you are talking about waking, then you have to, in that waking, you have to take the past and the future also. Or delete everything. If you don't take the past and the future into consideration when you are in a dream, then why do you take it in the present, in the waking? Yeah, one rule should apply for everywhere. You keep changing rules in different states. You see, that is why we are so confused. That is why we are so agitated. That is why our mind is not becoming silent. So, in the second point is that I am, therefore thinking happens. I am the observer of the Triputi coming, thought coming and thought going. Every thought is a product of a marriage or a coming together, a phenomena of the knower known and knowing, experiencer experienced and experiencing. Huh? The conscious principle, the object out there, and the instrument of experience. When these three come together, a thought is created. So once I start living as a slave of these thoughts, what is phobia? Phobia is you are slave of your thoughts, isn't it? A spider is a thought. It's only an idea. Just thinking of spider. Some people go, isn't it? Don't even take that name. There's no spider around. No, don't take that name. I feel something inside. Yuck, yuck. Snake. Oh, slithery, slithery thing. Oh, don't take that name. Isn't it? People feel that way. So where is it? There's no physical object there. Then where is this feeling coming from? It's merely a thought, and they have become identified with that, what that thought represents, and then become enslaved by whatever the thought represents. Similarly, when we say love, some people's representation of that word love is love of the partner, for the children, or love of the parents, however they have trained their mind, isn't it? Gandhiji's love was different. It was love for the freedom of India, for the totality of the humanity in India, isn't it? So what is your definition of everything? You have to assess, you have to recognize that are you trapped by those words or are you independent of those thoughts? Then the third limitation is those people who are addicted to yoga, pranayama, asana, etc., etc., etc. Such people, it is huge ego. They want to control the world. They want to control every aspect of their personality. They want to control all the environment. And therefore they embark upon this journey of yoga, whether you do Kundalini yoga, Kriya yoga, Ashtanga yoga, whatever yoga you are doing. And as a result, all these people who are doing the yoga, they have only one issue. Or there are two issues. One is, what am I going to gain by result of doing yoga? And second thing is, whatever I gained, will I lose it if I stop doing yoga? Isn't it? So if you have done the yoga of being a grahastha and you have accumulated good wealth, grahastha means family life, you have had good children, you have gained over the years, you have grown and grown and grown, and some properties are there, good cars are there, good travel is there. Because you were single. Yoga means being able to apply yourself effectively in life. But those who apply themselves effectively in life, are you one of those who is afraid to lose what you have gained? Are you afraid to lose what you have gained? To address this problem among seekers, to these yogis, Lord had told in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam, that whatever you need in your sadhana I will provide, and whatever you have I will protect. But you put your mind to me. Mai arpita manobuddhi. See, to address this problem. But those people who continue to remain enslaved by will, that I am going to expand, I am going to sublimate my mind, I am going to reduce my thoughts, and they focus and they focus and they focus and they focus. It's not natural. They are forcing themselves. They are creating an environment through pranayama or through japa and bringing it there. There is no surrender there. And somewhere on the journey they will recognize if God's grace is there. But if it is not there, then the fear comes. So you go to many Mahatmas, you must have experienced in your life also. They don't allow you to touch their feet. Why they don't allow you to touch their feet? Because if you touch, you are sinful, you are impure. If you touch my feet, you will take away my purity and leave your impurity with me. Who can think like this? Isn't it? Who can think like this? Only a person for whom duality is still there, isn't it? He has accepted that the world is other than him. Only he can think like this. And such people, uh, uh, with such concerns, they always take to the lower path. And what is that lower path? There is a greater path and there is a lower path. The lower path is the step-by-step liberation. So you merge the earth into water, water into fire, fire into air, air into space, space into the total mental space into the conscious space. This is the journey, Laya Prakriya, step by step. Or we will purify the gross body, then the subtle body, then go beyond the causal body to the total causal body, and then go to Brahmaji, and then go to the self. Step by step. What step can you create? Hey, Mr. Wave, you need to do step by step liberation. What is that? I have to liberate. Oh, you have to recognize that you are water. What step by step liberation will be there for a water wave to recognize that it is water? So, where is that step by step? Only in the mind. Exactly the same thing for us also. We are essentially what we are seeking. Accept it. Accept it without a thought. Why you have to think and then confirm that yes, I am? You don't have to say anything. You are already that. See? But because we don't accept, then step by step, then we complicate it for ourselves. As a result, such seekers, they fall uh, into the limitations of doership, they become victims of doership, of knowership, and of wanting to struggle for happiness and enjoyership. They feel that I am not happy now, I will be happy one day. They feel I don't know enough now, one day I'll come to know everything. They feel that yes, everything is perfect in my life, but still something is missing. So they seek that. And in this way, they are sabotaging their own happiness due to their thinking, due to their enslavement, or having accepted the enslavement of the thoughts. This is a very, very important point in your journey as a seeker. Stop being the one who, or stop having a disposition, I think therefore I am. That is not the truth. I am therefore thinking happens is the truth. Even if you take this, keep these two thoughts in your mind, everything will start solving itself. Then the fourth type of limitation that we find ourselves enslaved by is the 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 idea that Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara are separate. See, that the Lord, the world, and me, we are three separate entities. The God is up there who is controlling me, the world is continuously troubling me, and poor me, what can I do? God doesn't listen to me, and world is not in my hands. It's always slipping away. See? And in this way, because we have accepted this bifurcation of Jeev Jagat Ishvara, but where did this thought come from? From birth only you have. Now, question is, are you ready to change if some data is presented that it is not so? Just like we presented the data that the statement I think therefore I am is null and void. I am therefore thinking happens is the correct statement. So if you accept at this moment intellectually that it is correct statement, then make a commitment deep inside your heart to live and abide by it. See? That just not, it will not, its spontaneous expression will not take place until unless the shift has not taken place within your bosom. If it is only superficial, yes, that is that is fantastic what Swamiji said. And sometimes you must have seen, you must have heard many things 10 years ago and suddenly they click now, isn't it? 5 years ago and they click now. So it was because why it did not click that time? Superficially taken. Didn't give it enough time to gel into you, to get consolidated. You didn't complete the journey in that contemplation. You appreciated it, but didn't see the consequence of all that. So in this way, as long as we are caught up in Jeev Jagat Ishvara Bheda, where Ishvara is the controller and I am the controlled, then till then karma will be the karma siddhanta, that I am a product of my past sins and I have to purify myself and I have to offer all my karmas to the Lord, then my karma will get purified, and as a result of purified karma my mana buddhi chitta hankar will get purified. As a result of that purification, then I will become single pointed, and when I become single pointed, then I will become but a person who is caught up in karma, in activity, in action, such a person can never sit in silence. If naturally silence is presenting itself, he will again find something to make himself busy. Like I do. Keep going to India. Free time, go to India. Some project. See? So as long as we keep thinking that Jeev, Jagat, Ishvara are three separate entities coexisting together, and don't come to realize that the essence of Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar is one and the one alone. That one without a second reality alone is expressing as Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar. And when you come to recognize this, then Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar will continue to express as a phenomena, but without making an impact on your mind. They will not disturb you. The world will not disturb you. You, the life expressing through this body will not disturb you. And you will not be afraid of God also. Why? You have come to recognize this conscious principle that I am itself is everything. It's supporting everything, yet at the same time transcendental to everything. And in this way, this is the fourth limitation. And the fifth one is those caused by fear, fear of death and fear of extinction, fear of deception and fear of unhappiness. These limitations lead to the pursuit of self-preservation. You look at Nelson Mandela, you look at Mahatma Gandhi, who were jailed for so many years. Nelson Mandela, 27 years he was in the jail. He began as a very vibrant youth, ready to take on the apartheid regime. They fixed him for 20, solitary confinement, torture, this, that. What happened in those 27 years? That he came out a transformed man. What happened in those 27 years? That while he was in the jail, something shifted within him. All hatred towards the apartheid, to those people who were propagating apartheid, got replaced by love, unconditional love. What happened? Don't you think he was afraid when he was caught and put behind the bars? Don't you think he was afraid when he was put in the solitary confinement or tortured? See? But everyone is not a Nelson Mandela. He caught the bull, the fear by its own horns, and said, this thing is making me afraid. What am I afraid of? And he redefined himself in those extreme moments of pain or fear. That opportunity is there for you, me, everyone. But do we take that opportunity, or do we succumb to that disease, to that pain, to that obstacle? You see, normally people succumb, isn't it? Why they say, even after that they say, I'm going to sue that person, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to look at Pakistan and Afghanistan. Continuous revenge after revenge after revenge. It's never unending story. Same thing with Palestine and Israel, Christians and Muslims. It never ends. Same thing between two people. Only fight, 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 fight. Only argue, only. But why is this? Because we have not developed a vision which can see that this entire Jeev Jagat Ishvara is one. We haven't come to a disposition where we can see this, that the entire cosmos that we are experiencing only through the mind, and the mind is functioning by way of thoughts, and those thoughts cannot, and I am aware of those thoughts, isn't it? Come to this point again and again. And in this way, so fear of death is equal to I may not exist tomorrow. That is fear of death. Then fear of deception. When mental turmoil is too much, then fear of deception is there. When you do not see that everything is as it should be, as the divine wants it to be. When we are not in harmony with that idea or theme, then, oh, I think this fellow is manipulating me. I think this person is deceiving me. I think this person is doing something behind my back to take advantage of me. Continuous fear that someone is manipulating me, that things are happening behind my back. We have all been victims of it sometime or the other. And the third is the fear of unhappiness. That if all my relative, imagine one lady was there in Nepal. She says to Swamiji, Swamiji, please bless me that I die. He said, why? He says, my children have died, my grandchildren have died, my great-grandchildren have died, and I'm still alive. She was 91 or 95 at that time. And she says, I don't die, I smoke, I eat meat, I do all wrong things, but I'm not dying, I don't even have any disease. Imagine, what a pathetic condition. People live for that type of health, that you are perfect, no disease. And here she is tired of her life because no higher goal. No higher goal. So, because there is no higher goal, what is that higher goal? Recognizing that the self is immanent as me. But not in recognition of that then leads to sadness, isn't it? Divorce leads to sadness, children die, they lead to sadness. Everything leads to sadness. So such people are a complaint box all the time. They are continuously seeking attention all the time. Why? They cannot live alone. And who is Paramatma? This was our lot. We, all these 5 categories of limitations, they are applicable on us, isn't it? But who is Paramatma?
Yeah.
The one who is independent of all these 5 limitations. That therefore, that Paramatma, here it is told, it's paripurnaha, is absolutely complete. Nothing is lacking in him. And that Paramatma, in whom nothing is lacking, who is absolutely complete, is the one who is expressing through the body. Asmin dehe, expressing through the body. So we are not talking about some third Tom, Dick and Harry, we are talking about you. So make it subjective. Oh, so that Paramatma, that conscious principle, that life force is complete. But I am thinking that I am incomplete. I am afraid of death. I am afraid of sinning. I want liberation. I want to do sadhana. Mahavakyas are not there to elongate your journey. Mahavakyas are there so that, boom, the moment you hear it, it clicks. Asmin dehe, in this very body, in this human birth. See, can Mahavakya Upadesh be given to the animals, to the plants, to the worms, to the gods? They will not appreciate. It is only the human being for whom the Mahavakya Upadesh, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, I am Atma Brahma, because he is a thinking person. As we are talking about Aham right now, you are able to understand. God doesn't have time for Indra and all. He is know all. He knows it all. Animal and all, they don't care. They are instinctive. No intelligence there. Yes, it's 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 natural intelligence, but not the understanding that we have. So sometimes it seems that they are more intelligent than us because they are living in harmony with nature. But even though they are living in harmony with nature, they cannot get realized. This is what scriptures say. And if we say that scriptures are telling wrong, then we cannot, then there is nowhere for us to turn. Now, Vidya Adhikarini. So, what is the purpose? Vidya Adhikarini. Here it was told, Paripurna Paratmasmin Dehe Vidya Adhikarini. So, what is Vidya? Vidya is knowledge. Adhikar means the right to knowledge. What knowledge? Who is going to be my wife? Who is going to be my husband? How many houses I am going to go? You see all the people who go to these psychics or go to astrologers, what are they asking? You show the hand. When I am going to die? Are there any problems in my whatever life is left? Is my fate good or is it not good? Are there any major obstacles coming in my life? But nobody asks, am I going to realize? Nobody asks that. See? So but what is the purpose of human life? Of human birth? To have God realization, to attain self-realization, to be that self. That opportunity is given only in the human birth. And what do we do with that opportunity? We just blow it away by getting obsessed with all the limitations that we talked about and complicate our life sufficiently, and then want we feel good if we have gone to a temple, we feel good we have gone to a pilgrimage, we feel good we have gone to a satsang, we feel good on a weekly basis we go to a yoga class. And that's it. Is that going to bring about any shift? It's only temporary feeling good. Is it permanent? Have you analyzed that whatever you have done from childhood till now, has it brought about any permanent solace? But we are not ready, no, yaar. We want to live in this fool's world because to take on, to accept yourself as that infinite, it's too large a proposition. But that is why you are born in the human birth. That is what your purpose is. But you are not ready to take that. You are not ready to be that. I am not saying pursue that, but you are not ready to be that. Because you are already that. But you want to live continuously obsessed with limited personalities. So in this way, Vidya Adhikarini. So that infinite Atma, that Paripurna Atma, that complete self is fully available in this body at this very moment. But we are not accepting that we are that. Now who is to be blamed? We are not here to blame anyone. But here, if you start thinking about blaming, why am I not, why am I this, why am I that, what are you thinking about not self? What you should be contemplating on the self. So we get caught up in the wrong journey. Again we are into the thoughts. Let the thoughts come. Put your attention on the one in whose presence the thoughts are coming and going. Put your attention on the one, not the one who wants to control everything. Put the attention on that one because of whom breath is going in and out, senses are able to see, liver is functioning, food is getting digested, pressure is coming. Automatically the waker goes to become dreamer, dreamer goes to become deep sleeper. Automatically the deep sleeper wakes up. Someone is making the hair grow, someone is making the nails grow, someone is making the thoughts come and go. Who is that person? He is not saying, now blood, start moving. Now liver, start producing the bile. Now stomach, the food has gone in, 1, 2, 3, start producing hydrochloric acid. Nothing like that. But it's continuously, there is someone who's taking care of all this. Put your attention not on the one who is in control of everything, but the one who is without any thought. Without any thought is controlling all the functions. Put attention on that. That one is the Paripurna. See? And when we put our attention on it, automatically we come to know our own essential nature. Now, the word aham is being defined. So, Paramatma was defined as being complete and available in this very body. Where is this body? Where is this body? Some people will say in space, some people will say it is in this room, listening to sitting in front of Swami, other bodies. But where is this body? It is only a thought in the mind. If the body thought was not there in the mind, you will not have a body. If the body thought was not there, there will be no mind, no body. So, body is only a thought in the mind. So here it was told, Sfuran aham itiriyate. And so buddhe sakshitaya sthitva. So Paramatma is continuously witnessing this body. That is the natural. Like I am sitting here, I am sitting, seeing you, witnessing all of you. If I am not getting influenced by you, I am witnessing you. Are you witnessing your body at this moment? Are you witnessing your body? Yes, you are. It's just doing whatever it is doing, hand is moving, you are watching. What can you do? Before you know, some thought comes in your mind and the hand moves with that expression. You are not planning that you are going to move your hand this way or that way. It's happening. Eyes are blinking, lips are moving. See? So recognize that everything at the gross body level, everything at the breath level, everything at the mental level, emotional level, and everything at the thought level is being witnessed by you at this very moment. What did you think just now? You can repeat to me. Why can you repeat to me? Because you observed what came in the mind. Isn't it? The fact that we can remember the past shows that we were never identified with the thing. We were separate. That's why we were able to remember. Because when you are engrossed in something, there is no memory in it. It's just complete at that moment and it's over. So, here in the Mahavakya, Aham Brahmasmi, the meaning of Aham is the Sakshi Chaitanya, is the witnessing consciousness, who is aware of everything that is going on. In its presence, it is witnessing the space, air, fire, water, earth. It is witnessing the entire cosmos. It is witnessing the entire beings and objects in this world. It's observing or is the witness to the body, breath, mind, intellect in all its configurations. Which is illuminating every thought, but not coming under the influence of any thought. You see the difference between you. When you are influenced by something, some thought, for example, food, dinner. The thought of dinner will start influencing you at a particular time. And it will keep building up, and you are slowly sucked into that vortex of food, thought, and you become identified. Now you cannot think of anything else but the food. Isn't it? But if someone asks, hey, do you know that you were obsessively thinking about food? Yeah, I know. Then who was this I? Who knows? So, one moment you feel you are totally carried away by the food thought, and yet at the same time there is another person who is not affected by the food thought. It seems there are two, isn't it? But it's happening so fast, that's all there is. There's not two there. Are you awake? Yes. Were you awake 10 minutes ago? Yes. Did you think in between? Yes. But if you are right now and you are not in the past, then how come you remember what happened in the past? Question to ask, isn't it? How do you know if you're not there in the past? You can only be in the present moment. Then how do you know it? Because you're beyond past, present and future. That's why. Because you are the eternal witness. In front of you, the past, present and future come and go. In front of you, the waker, dreamer and deep sleeper come and go. In front of you, the what do you call, seer, seen, seeing, hearer, heard, hearing, knower, known, knowing, come and go. See? In front of you, the time, space and objectivity comes and goes. In deep sleep, where there is no time, space and objectivity, you wake up, time, space and objectivity is there. In dream, time, space and objectivity is at a very fast pace. In one dream, you can live the whole lifetime. So, and with this mind, which is conditioned by all these conditionings, we have started we are accepting ourselves as that. But the truth is, even at this moment, you are not that. You are the witness. So, take the correct position. Take the correct position. Have the right disposition. And fall back into yourself again and again and again, as many times during the day. Again and again. The moment it comes, who is watching? I am watching. Who am I? Back. I am disturbed. Who is disturbed? Mind is disturbed. I am not disturbed. Mind is having disturbing thoughts. How do I know mind is having disturbing? Because I am observing. Therefore I know. Then who is this who knows? Why was it thinking just 2 minutes ago that I am disturbed? He said I am disturbed because of identification with those thoughts. But the moment you ask who is disturbed, you got disidentified in that question itself. And you come back to the natural state. You come back to be the witnessing consciousness. And in this way, Aham Brahmasmi, the meaning of Aham here is this Sakshi Chaitanya, which is illuminating every thought, but not coming under the influence of any thought. Aham does not refer to I as man, woman, etc., but the I who is anashnan, untouched and unswayed by the events around, happy or otherwise. So who is this Sakshi? Sakshi is the one who is illuminating everything. It is illuminating the time, space, objectivity. It is illuminating the seer, seen, seeing. It is illuminating all the thoughts. It is illuminating the whole cosmos. It is illuminating all the bodies. It is illuminating this body, this subtle body, this causal body, yet remaining undisturbed. The moment you get disturbed, understand that Sakshi has become the individual. If it remains undisturbed, that individual has become the Sakshi. Very simply put, this is the Anandamaya Kosh, this is the gross body, this is the subtle body, this is the causal body. I, when it is separated to do these, it is witness. When it gets identified with these, it becomes the individual. But is it possible for oil and water to get married? Is it possible for oil and water to get identified? It is just not possible. Exactly the same logic is applied. Consciousness, which is eternal, which is independent, which is transcendental, which is beyond any conditionings, how can that consciousness get married to that which is limited, that which is conditioned, that which is coming and going, that which is ephemeral, that which is empirical? This union of consciousness with matter is not possible. Is not possible. Yet it seems to be there because I am there, isn't it? I am conscious also, I am matter also. So nothing can be done about this. But identification with this matter, something can be done about that. So that you can determine to be identified or to be disidentified. So here when they talk about that this I, this aham is not man, woman, daughter. This aham or I is not I'm the wife, I'm the mother, I'm the sister, I'm the wife, etc. All the roles that you're playing, it is not that I we are talking about. This I is not the one who is playing the role. I am the body, I am the breath, I am the breathing person. If I don't breathe, I will die. That you are not that I also. You are not even that I which feels that, oh, I am on a roller coaster ride of emotions. I don't know, Lord, please help me. You are not that I also. You are also not that I which is identified with various concepts and ideas of whatever. You are that I which is independent of everything yet supporting everything. Recognize this about yourself. And this can be recognized only in silence. Not necessarily silence, I just came out of default, it came only in silence. This can be recognized anywhere, anytime, wherever you are, in whichever manner you are, whether you are taken shower, you are lighted the lamp, you are sitting on a toilet, you are taking a stroll, you are going for a jog, you are fighting with someone, whatever is expressing at any given moment, you are the witness. Be that, rather than fall down from that pristine position. Pristine meaning why? Because pristine is something which is untouched by anything. It cannot be adulterated. It cannot be made impure. So this Sakshi is the one which is pristine. It becomes impure by identifying. But we just saw identification is not possible. And yet it is taking place. So whatever it is, take charge, come back to reclaim your original self. Inquire into the I. Ramana Maharishi says, keep contemplating on who is this I, who is this I. And so what is the first step then? First step is have such a disposition that nothing in this world is ever able to dislodge you from yourself. What is dislodgement from yourself? Disturbance, agitation, anger, excitement, sadness, attention seeking, etc. etc. The total world exists in the dynamic equilibrium of self-cancelling pairs of opposites, and the mind per se supports the relative dvandva, but itself is neither good or bad. It is totally untouched, uncontaminated, asangaha. Who is this? The Sakshi Chaitanya, the witnessing consciousness. It is asangaha. It does not identify with anything, yet it supports all the pairs of opposites, good, bad, beautiful, ugly, birth, death, up and down, east and west, praise and insult, hunger and thirst, heat and cold, everything it supports, past and future, but itself is not affected by any one of those. So, in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 5 it said that the one who is able to stand apart from this and not come under the influence of anger and desire, such a person alone can get liberated. Because these are the two snakes who will pursue you till the end, till a certain level. It creates more agitation, it creates more identification. Desire leads to more desires leads to greed. When greed is not satisfied, it leads to anger. Anger leads to destruction of the, first is loss of memory, first is delusion, then there is loss of memory, then there is inability to see what is right and wrong. No more discrimination possible. When a person is not able to see what is right and wrong in life for him or her, then he is already at the rock bottom. And in this way, thus this aham is the witness of all the turmoil of thoughts in the mind, yet is never influenced by them. I have already explained this. This aham is not relative, qualified entity changing from time to time, but it is the Shuddha aham, not created by effort or by the result of action. See? You feel like going to sleep, isn't it? Oh, I want to sleep now. So the waker wants to put efforts to go to sleep so that he can become the sleeper, isn't it? Then when he is in the dream, suppose he wakes up from the dream while he is dreaming, again he realizes, I have not slept, I am dreaming, and he wants to give up the dream because he is afraid of it or whatever it is. Efforts are put. But in whose presence, do you know yesterday you were awake for 12, 13 hours, that you dreamt at night for some time, and that you went into deep sleep also? Yes, sir, I know. This happens every day. Who is that one who knows? Who is that one? That is the real you. We have taken out of our complete, we are essentially the witness, but we have dropped that, we have accepted we are the waker only. We are not even considering ourselves to be a dreamer. Dreamer and deep sleeper, we have given them only little bit of attention. More important, I am the waker. Then forget about the waker also. We have given more important what keeps this waker in power. Past and future. That much we have gone into ignorance. We have to come out of it. And it can be done only in the waking state. So, and this I, this supreme I, in whose presence the waking I, the dream I, the deep sleep I, the mother I, the father I, the sister I, all these different eyes, the small eyes that are coming around, all of them have got no meaning in front of the Sakshi Chaitanya. You can be either you can be the witnessing consciousness, or you can be the teeny weeny I who keeps complaining and keeps remaining in the relative. If you come back to the witnessing I, immediately all the relative eyes are dropped in toto there and then. When you go to sleep, all your relative relations or all your ways of describing yourself, all of them vanish the moment you fall into sleep, isn't it? In dream you don't say, oh, I'm still the mother, I'm still the daughter, I'm still the sister, I'm still the wife. You don't say that. Everything gets dropped away. But alas, in dream another set is created. In deep sleep everything drops away. We can bring about that condition by accepting ourselves as the one in whose presence all these come and go. Keep taking that disposition again and again and again. And in this way, when this punny little I dies, the real I shines forth in all its fullness. Paripurna Sat. The truth is complete, Paripurna. And the only way, no amount of yoga, no amount of japa, no amount of studying the scriptures, no amount of pranayam, no amount of kundalini sadhana, no amount of anything is going to make this I weak. Only when this small I, the limited I, thinks of the unlimited one, thinks of the one who is in whose presence all this is, and that in that contemplation itself, the small I will start melting away. In this way, uh, uh, the the first word, which was aham, in the statement aham brahmasmi, the aham was explained. So recognize that you are that aham, which is not the individual I, but you are the witness I. You are not the I which keeps changing different roles. You are the one who is supporting all the roles, who is observing all the roles without any disturbance. And in this way, the first step to do this is give up desire and give up anger. Then it is possible. Continuing, स्वतः पूर्ण परात्मात्र ब्रह्म शब्द स्वतः पूर्ण परात्मात्र ब्रह्म शब्देन वर्णितः ब्रह्म शब्देन वर्णितः अस्मीत्यैक्यपरामर्शः अस्मीत्यैक्यपरामर्शः तेन ब्रह्म भवाम्यहम् तेन ब्रह्म भवाम्यहम्. The Supreme Infinite Self is referred in the Mahavakya Aham Brahmasmi by the word Brahma. The word Asmi establishes the identity between them. Therefore, I am Brahman is the knowledge. So what was told in the first verse, previous verse? That what is this Aham? This Aham is that witnessing consciousness which is complete, paripurna. In its presence all other things happen or don't happen, it is not bothered. It is because it is complete, it is supporting everything, yet transcendental to everything. Nothing can be added or subtracted from it. That is the Aham, that is the Supreme I. That is the I who is expressing through this body. But what we have done, we have forgotten that one and we have taken the relative I to be the, not the phenomenal I, but we have taken the relative I. So what we have taken? Example. Example is, we have taken the life is expressing through this bulb, electricity is behind. If each bulb is the individual, we have taken only this life, this bulb and this light to be real. But what do we have to do? Can bulb think? Can body think? No. Isn't it? So we have taken ourselves to be the light who is expressing only through this body. That is where we are making the mistake. But that is what was told, that we are the one, that consciousness is expressing through this body, but you don't take the one who is identified with the body, but who is observing the body, witnessing the body. Now, what is Brahma? Brahma is the Supreme I. What is that? Now, imagine this light. Yes, we can see there are 15 different lights expressing through 15 different bulbs. But is the principle of light different in every bulb? Or the principle of light is the same? Does anything happen to light if one bulb fuses? No, the light continues to, isn't it? So one is electricity, which is formless and attributeless, but there is principle of light which is called as the life principle. When now what is Brahma? Brahma is recognition that this consciousness so we have to now when we are talking about Brahma, Brahma is recognition that electricity, which is the cause of everything. See, where we are stuck as individual, we are stuck in consciousness is expressing only through this body. Light is expressing only through this bulb. What is that? Is Jiva. What is Jiva Bhav? When we come to recognize that this consciousness which is expressing through this body is the same consciousness which is expressing through all the bodies. When this light recognizes that the principle of light is the same behind every bulb, in expressing through every bulb. That is Jiva Bhava. If you come to that principle also, there is possibility you can go back to the witnessing. So here, the self, so when we are talking about the witnessing consciousness is the one in whose presence this equipment is functioning, and you are recognizing it. See? What is Brahma? Brahma is that consciousness which is expressing through the entire. And then what is Asmi? Asmi is saying that this individual witnessing, not individual, this witnessing consciousness, this principle of consciousness which was expressing through the individual body is essentially is the same as the supreme consciousness. See? So here it says, that Atma was said to be Paripurna and Paratma. Here it is said, Swatah Purna Paratma Atra Brahma Shabdena Varnidaha. That which is complete in itself and is the supreme Atma is described as Brahma. It's just a play of words, but at the same time, that Brahman, that consciousness which is expressing as a through this body was told as witnessing consciousness, and what is Brahman? Who is independent of everything which is complete. So Atma at the individual level called as witnessing consciousness was also called Paripurna, and Brahman is also called Paripurna. Atma in this individual body, expressing through this individual body, is also called Paratma, and Brahman is also called Paratma. Paratma means it is transcendental to everything. So when definitions of both are same, then Aham is equal to Brahman. And in this way, when this knowledge takes place, Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti results. It has to happen. You cannot think and make it happen. All you can do is, first, when you are in the waking state, prepare your mind for it. Prepare your mind for it. Prepare your mind for what? Prepare your mind for what? For this knowledge. What is this knowledge? So, because we are listening to each other right now, so what is the knowledge? That I am the one who's observing that this knowledge is taking place in my mind. Isn't it? So don't misunderstand. At this moment, all these words are telling you that the consciousness is already there. In its presence, this relative understanding through the medium of thoughts is taking place in the mind. Put your attention on that, or be that witnessing consciousness. Then what is the second understanding that is being given to us? That this consciousness itself is the infinite. And you are essentially that. So can we become Brahman straight away? No. What do we have to do? First we have to come to ourselves. When we come to ourselves, automatically whatever next has to happen will happen. In the contemplation that this witnessing consciousness is essentially the total consciousness, it itself is a mind-boggling idea. That this life that is expressing through me, and I'm thinking right now that this life that is expressing through me is the total life. Just like this life is supporting all the functions within this body and mind and intellect, this life principle or conscious principle is supporting the entire cosmos. Wow! In this contemplation itself, everything will drop away. You can't drop things away in your life. They get dropped away when you think such thoughts which do not lead to any conclusion. Brahmasmi is not a conclusion. It is a doorway to what is. Prajnanam Brahma is not a conclusion. It is a doorway to what is. Because there are two thoughts. Prajnanam Brahma, two thoughts. Each word has its own connotation. It has its own meaning. It representing something. Maybe it is representing infinity, but it's still an idea in your mind. But when you contemplate, but it is indicating something. It is indicating that transcendental theme. And when we remain with this Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, etc., in that somewhere along the way, the words, the obsession with the words drops away and you glide into who you are. When we are fully falling asleep, we think about sleep. Now I'm tired, now I'm exhausted, I need to get up in the morning, now tomorrow I have to get to work also. And slowly the sleep is coming. No, let me finish this work, but yeah, sleep is coming. I'm hardly keeping my eyes open. Maybe I do something wrong in my work that I'm doing. And then you go and lie down in the bed. Still you're thinking now I must just crash. So in that, but while you are still thinking, you had not slept. And when sleep comes, you just get sucked into it. Then there is no one there to say, I am sleeping. Exactly the same way. When we contemplate on Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, etc., etc., a moment comes where our attention on what is being indicated by those words is the subject matter itself. And in that contemplation, the words lose their meaning, just like I am feeling sleepy. That sentence loses the meaning, stops having an impact. Instead, the word drops, and the moment word drops, you are there. Similarly, Aham Brahmasmi word drops, and you are there. And in this way, the contemplation goes. So this witnessing consciousness is Paratma. Witnessing consciousness is absolutely pure. So also Brahman is Paratma. Swatah Purnaha Paratma Atra Brahma Shabdena Varnitaha. The word Brahman says that which is complete in itself. See, Brahman means that which is complete in itself. And we have just seen witnessing consciousness also is Paratma. It is complete in itself because it is not affected by anyone. And that is our experience when we analyze it, when we analyze this consciousness. So in this way, so Can there be two consciousnesses? The individual witnessing consciousness and the total consciousness, can there be two consciousnesses? Can there be two spaces, one inside the room and one outside the room? Essentially they are one. So just for from utility value, we use the word room space, house space, toilet space, bedroom space. But actually the outside space and inside space are one and the same. Similarly, the consciousness expressing, the witnessing consciousness expressing through this equipment and the total consciousness at any given moment are one and the same. In this way, contemplate. This is the impact, this is the consequence of contemplation of Aham Brahmasmi. Last week we saw Prajnanam Brahma.
Excuse me.
So in this way, correctly evaluate each word of the Mahavakyas and come to the correct conclusion. What is the conclusion? They are both the same. Then why am I thinking? See, then why am I thinking if both of them are the same? Then why am I feeling that I am separate to the total? Because I am still thinking. Why am I not going to sleep? Because I am still thinking about sleep. Why I am not going to sleep? Because I am still thinking about sleep. Why am I not recognizing that I am Brahman? I am not being that? Because I am still thinking that the Aham is Brahman. I am still thinking about it. I am not being it. See? And Asti is the verb which unites the two. Aham Brahma Asmi. Aham Asmi Brahma. I am that. I is the witnessing consciousness. That is the total consciousness. Brahman. I am. So, because there cannot be two consciousnesses, the commonality, the union of the two consciousnesses, which never became two, but were appearing as two. But I am feeling that I am separate to it. So, to impress upon the mind, it is told that this consciousness, this consciousness is that total consciousness. And therefore the word Asmi is being used. Tena Brahma Bhavami Aham. Therefore, Asmi indicates that I am, whether I accept it, recognize it or not. It is an amness that has no logic. You cannot work it out that you are. You don't need to think that you are. This is, if you can catch this, fantastic. You don't need to think. When we say, how close is the wave to the water? We laugh at that statement, isn't it? When we say if a wave has to realize water, we laugh at that statement. We see that nothing requires to be done. But when it comes to ourselves, scriptures are telling us, you are that. How can that be possible? How can that be possible? Oh, but the gold is the ornament is the gold. Yeah, I understand. You are the Paramatma, essentially. How is it possible? I am that? No, Baba, no. Not like this. So come to recognize. So when one contemplates on the Mahavakya, it does not mean that we become Brahman, as the use of the verb might lead one to think Brahman is already existing as our essential nature. Only it is now revealed to us for cognition. That which was lost because of ignorance was never lost, and that which is gained through knowledge is not a real gain, because I cannot lose myself, nor can I gain myself. So it is not a union. Parma, witness in consciousness and Brahman, if we say Aham, I am Brahman, meaning now I have realized myself, there is no realization. This union is not possible because you are already that. How can this inside space, if this inside room space says, now I have realized the outside space, is it possible? Can the wave say, I have realized the waters? You cannot say. Gold cannot say that I have ornament cannot say I have realized the gold. It is already gold. Similarly, you cannot also say that now I have realized the self, Brahman. You are already that man. Therefore, this I is the one which is supporting this body, I is the one which is supporting the whole world. This I is the one who is expressing through all the living beings. This I is the one who is supporting all the entire cosmos. There has never been a time that this I is not, there will never be a time that this I will not be, will be not. The I, this supreme I, or whichever way you take it, it is always. Recognize this about yourself, that you are that I, without a thought, not through thoughts. And in this way, when we contemplate in this manner, again understand, no amount of efforts on our part by way of thinking can bring this conclusion. It is only by grace that it happens. But what we have to do is continue to contemplate to such an extent that it becomes free of contemplation. We put efforts to think that we have to go to sleep, but a point comes where thoughtlessness appears. Therefore we go to sleep. Exactly same way. Right, like right now you are thinking about so many things. When you go to bed, you will be thinking only about sleep. Then that thought of sleep also will become sublimated, and you will glide into sleep. So we are thinking about the world right now. Let's start thinking about Aham Brahmasmi, Prajnanam Brahma, Tattvamasi, etc., etc. Even that, what is that meaning? That this consciousness that there is the total consciousness. Keep thinking about it. Keep thinking till even this thinking also goes away and you glide into what it is representing, what it is. And that glide is not like waker gliding into deep sleep. Now be very careful. It is not a journey. Waker goes through a journey of dream and then deep sleep and then again become awake. But this journey is not like that. And this journey keeps repeating every day. But what will be the journey of the wave to the water? A journeyless journey. What will be the journey of the ornament to the gold? Journeyless journey. What will be the journey of the room space to the total space? Journeyless journey. What will be the journey of the witnessing consciousness to the total consciousness? Journeyless journey. Because it already is. This last bit, you can keep contemplating, but this last bit is the grace. In fact, every aspect of it is grace. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamudaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for 2 minutes.